What is up, guys? So today is the day we're finally building these CR125 wheels. I'm super excited to do this, so let's get to it. And if it's Christmas or Christmas Eve for you guys, by the time I get this video all edited and uploaded, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Okay guys, so here is the wheel hubs off this CR125. In the last video, as you can see, we powder coated them. If you guys are interested in checking that out, I'll have that linked at the end of this video. But it's now time to pop in the brand new wheel bearings I got from All Balls. So I'm going to heat up the inner race of the bearing to start. Alright, now that I got the wheel hub heated up to 200 degrees, I'm going to grease up the bearing and then go ahead and hammer it in with a socket that fits around the outer race of the bearing. Alright, now that I've got it seated, I'm going to switch to a smaller socket that'll allow me to drive it in the rest of the way. Alright, now that I got my bearing fully seated, I'm going to grease up my seal, and I can push this in by hand fairly easy. No need to drive it in on these ones. And don't forget to put your collar piece in there before you drive in your bearings on the other side. And after I finish up my front wheel hub, I can repeat the same steps on the rear wheel hub. And then to tighten down your bearing with the bearing retainer, you will need a special tool on the Hondas. I have this tool linked down in the description for you guys. And now I'll install the collar piece and then one bearing. And then the second bearing on this side. This side has two bearings and then a seal. Alright guys, so this is the wheel I'm going to go with. It's a Warp 9, and I really like the color combo and the match that it has with these hubs. And to keep this same red color, I picked up a set of anodized spoke nipples and spokes. These were the only ones I could find that came as a set that will work with your OEM hubs, so I will have these down in the description for you guys. And to keep this color combo going even further, I picked up a set of Tusk spoke wraps in a black color. And I used to think these things were kind of cheesy, but after seeing them in person and seeing how they work on the spokes, I'm actually really impressed. So it fits on there really tight, and it'll provide a pretty good amount of protection for your spokes. And when installing the front spokes on this bike, they will be the same length. The rear is different, so you will want to watch out for that. And I'm just going to show you guys here on the hub, there is a high and a low hole, and I want to show you that before I go to assemble so you guys know what I'm talking about. And when I put together my wheels, I find it's easiest to have the wheel up on blocks so I can have it centered in the middle of the hub. And if you guys remember, when I went to tear down the wheel hub on this bike, the nipples were seized to the spokes, so I'm going to use some anti-seize lubricant to prevent that from happening. So now we're all ready to lace up the wheel. I'm going to start with the bottom hole here and work all the way around and then overlap over the top of these bottom spokes. Lacing up the wheel on a dirt bike is one of my favorite jobs to do on a dirt bike because it's just super rewarding and fun to watch the process happen. So I hope you guys enjoy. And when you go to line up your spokes with your spoke nipples, it's pretty obvious which hole they fall into. You just kind of got to guide them with where they overlap into the holes. And then I'm only going to tighten the nipples down an even amount just until they reach the spoke wrap for now. And now that I got this side finished up, I'm going to repeat the same process on the brake disc side. Alright guys, and this wheel is not even complete, but it does look freaking sweet, so I can't wait to see the tire on this and put it on the bike. Okay guys, so what I have here is a precision balancing and truing stand by Tusk. You guys can use your, you can just put the wheel on the bike, or you can use one of these stands. I prefer to use the stand just because it gives me more control over the wheel. I also did install the brake rotor onto the wheel so I could see how it would balance with the rotor on it. And getting the wheel set up on the stand is pretty easy, so you'll put that crossbar through it, and then you'll put both of these tapered pieces through and tighten them down so the wheel can spin freely on them. And then we'll put on these end pieces here that'll take away our side-to-side movement, and we can tighten those down as well. So the first thing I like to do when I'm balancing a wheel is I'll look through the end of each nipple and see how far the spoke is threaded into it. And I'll go around and I'll adjust all of these to make sure that they're even. And this will allow me to have a lot less movement when I start to true up the wheel. Now that I have everything even, I'm going to set up this pointer about 4 millimeters away from the wheel, so that I can get an accurate gauge on how much side-to-side movement we have with the wheel. Alright, now that I've spun the wheel, I can see that it actually looks really good for the first spin, but there is some up and down and a little bit of side-to-side movement of the wheel, as you can see. So I'll show you guys how to get rid of that. So the best way I found to do this is to put my finger in between that pointer and the wheel, and the spot where it kind of pinches my finger the most is right here. So then I know I need to adjust it and push it that way to the right. And how you move it to the right is you're going to tighten the 3 spokes on the right side, and then you might need to loosen the 3 spokes on the left side depending how tight they are. After tightening those a full turn on each side, it seems to have taken out most of our side to side, so I'm going to get to work on the up and down movement now. So on up and down, we're looking for a low spot in the rim, right? So we could see it comes around, hits right there. So it's hitting right about here, so we know this is the low spot. So what we need to do is we need to tighten these spokes up, and that'll actually pull our rim upwards. I'll start by tightening up the 4 bottom spokes in the general area of the low spot in the rim, a half to a quarter turn. Generally, to get the rim, the up and down movement out of it, it's a longer process than the side to side, so just keep going around a few times until you get it. And after going around a few more times and checking everything, I think I got it pretty good here within spec. So spec's about 2 millimeters side to side or up and down. Alright guys, now I'm going to do an even tightening all the way around, so I'm going to mark with tape and then tighten down every 3rd spoke, and I'm going to go around and do this 3 times, moving the tape up 1 spoke each time. And as you guys are making your way around your 2nd or 3rd time, just use feel. If something feels pretty tight on there, you don't need to give it a full half turn, but if something's feeling pretty loose, maybe give it 1.5 to 2 turns, just depending on the looseness of the nipple. After you guys have moved your tape 3 times, you could check how your wheel looks. If stuff still feels loose, you can go around and do those steps again, but I think our wheel came out pretty good here. Alright guys, I can't wait to show you how amazing that front wheel came out, but first we gotta finish up this rear wheel. And I'm gonna try the famous spin technique here. It'll allow me to attach the spokes and automatically balance the wheels, so you guys need to try this one. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. These wheels came out absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see them on the bike. Definitely hit that like button for me, and I'll see you next week.